And we're back, and I gotta ask, do you have a sense of how this came to happen?
Yes, I believe that addiction played a part in it. And I also believe that the perpetrators, or perp, one or two or three or group that's involved, it's behind drugs.
And you're saying this out of experience because you have had firsthand experience with that lifestyle.
Absolutely. My son was living with me and he would pay rent. And so he was doing really well. He'd gotten in trouble, you know, a couple years ago and got out of jail for a misdemeanor conviction. And he was doing extremely well. He was working, saved his money, bought a car, and he ended up getting involved with this girl, and his behavior changed. And this was February of this year.
So it's a recent thing.
Yes. His friend was killed in January, or December or January, and then his behavior completely changed. I recognized it because I'm in recovery. I have 10 years clean and sober from meth and heroin, and I recognize the behavior. I know the thought patterns. I know I've been on both sides of the fence. I've been in the drug world and I'm in the recovery world now, so can't hide it from me.
Right, you know all the signs.
Right, absolutely. And so several times I'd confronted my son about his behavior. I seen it in his face. He completely went downhill. Eventually he ended up getting fired from the ale house, which I told my boss, I was like, you know, I'm not gonna hold against you. I know this is business and this is a direct result of choices being made. My son's not making good choices right now and I'm not gonna be mad at you. And so my son ended up getting fired. And I could see it. His eyes were pinned. I knew that he was using opiates. And many times I just kept saying, hey, I gave him three options. I said, you either stop doing what you're doing and you reel it in and you get another job and you get back on track, or you go to treatment and I will make sure that your rent is paid. I'll make sure you have money that you need and you get yourself together. I'm gonna support you through this 100%. Or you need to pack up your stuff and you need to move out because you are not going to stay with me while you're using drugs.
Those seem like three very fair choices and very clear choices.
Absolutely.
And considering that he just had a job, I'm guessing he chose one.
He did choose one and he chose to move out. He packed up all his stuff and then stored his property in my sunroom. And I did stay in contact with him, and I told him, I said, since you are making this choice, I will tell you right now, there's not going to be good results from these choices.
Right. It's very predictable.
Right. It's always the same end result for everyone.
Yeah, you never hear about anyone who delves into that lifestyle and everything comes up fantastic.
Right. So within 3 weeks of him moving out, he's arrested for drug paraphernalia and a weapons charge. They ended up dropping the charges because the weapon was legally registered to him, and then of course they didn't get drugs, but the drug paraphernalia. He got out of jail and he's like, I'm glad that I went to jail, Mom. He's like, I hated being like that. I don't like it. I hate feeling like that. I hate being an addict. I hate it, Mom. And so when he was arrested, when I visited him in jail, he told me, he's like, I'm glad I'm in jail because this is going to make me get sober.
You had a similar experience.
Oh, yes. When I was arrested, I mean, before I was arrested, I kept praying and I kept saying, please, God, you got to do something. I hate being like this. I hate being an addict. I don't like how I feel. And I ended up getting arrested and I went to jail. And because of my charge, I did get a long sentence. While I was in jail, I had the opportunity to go to treatment in jail. Only 28 beds though, and there's hundreds of women in jail. So I did get an opportunity to turn it around and get sober.
And it's made a difference for you. 10 years is a long time.
Absolutely, yes. And I base my whole recovery off of my relationship with God and then also the support network that I have in the community. And one boundary that I've set for myself is when something bad happens or I have a tough situation in my life, one option that is not on my list is relapse. I do not have that on my options list. And my son knew this about me. And I continuously encouraged him over and over again to make good choices and to reach out to me because he knew that I could help him. But he rejected it, and when somebody's in their addiction, a lot of the times...
they're not thinking clearly.
Right, and I think one of the things that I notice, what I want to relay is there has to be something done, because what the state is doing right now is not helping. Incarcerating people is not the option.
We have to take another break. Stick with us, we'll be right back.